Welcome to this introduction on tree diagrams. In the world of statistics and probability, visualizing how events unfold is often half the battle. Tree diagrams are one of the most powerful tools we have for mapping out sequential events, things that happen one after another, to clearly see every possible outcome and calculate their likelihood. So, what exactly is a tree diagram? Put simply, it is a visual map of all possible outcomes for a series of events. Just like a real tree branches out from a trunk, a tree diagram starts at a single point and branches out for every choice or result that can happen. This makes them perfect for calculating probabilities in multi-step problems without getting lost in the math. Let's break down the structure. Every tree diagram starts with a root or a starting point on the left. From there, lines called branches extend out. Each branch represents a possible choice or result. At the end of the branches, we have nodes representing the outcomes. Crucially, we write the probability of each specific choice directly onto its branch. This setup organizes all the data we need in one place. Let's start with the simplest example, flipping a single coin. We start at our root. When we flip the coin, there are only two possibilities, heads or tails. So, we draw two branches. Since a fair coin is equally likely to land on either side, we label both branches with a probability of 0.5 or 50%. This is the first level of our tree. Now let's make it sequential. Suppose we flip the coin a second time. We extend new branches from the end of the first flip. If we got heads first, we could get heads or tails next. The same applies if we got tails first. This gives us 4 final outcomes: heads heads, heads tails, tails heads, and tails tails. The tree now shows the full path of the story. Here is the first major rule you need to know, the multiplication rule. If you want to find the probability of a specific sequence of events, like getting heads and then heads again, you simply follow the path along the branches and multiply the numbers you encounter. For 2 heads, we multiply 0.5 by 0.5, giving us 0.25, or a 25% chance. The second major rule is the addition rule. Sometimes we want to know the probability of a broader result, like getting at least 1 head. To find this, we look at all the final outcomes that satisfy our condition. Here, 3 of our 4 outcomes include a head. We calculate the probability for each valid path and then add them together. 0.25 plus 0.25 plus 0.25 equals 0.75. Not every event is 50-50. Consider a bag with 3 red marbles and 2 blue marbles. If we pick one, the chance of red is 3 out of 5, or 0.6. The chance of blue is 2 out of 5, or 0.4. In a tree diagram, the branches don't have to be equal. They just have to represent the true probability of that specific choice. Note that the branches from any single node always add up to 1. Tree diagrams really shine when probabilities change. Imagine we took that red marble and didn't put it back. For our second pick, there are now fewer marbles in the bag. A tree diagram allows us to easily update the probabilities for the second set of branches based on what happened in the first step. This handles conditional probability naturally without complex formulas. To wrap up, remember these 3 keys. First, tree diagrams map out every possible path for sequential events. Second, use the multiplication rule along the branches to find the probability of one specific path. And third, use the addition rule to combine multiple paths to answer broader questions. With these tools, you can visualize and solve complex probability problems with confidence.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.